Nick loves females, okay? Do you think Harris, do the Fins at 18 is a possibility? So I think you mean Najee Harris at 18 is a possibility due to him and Tua being old roommates / teammates. I do think Najee Harris is an absolute candidate that the Dolphins could pick at 18. They want a true bell cow running back, and Harris is the top guy in the draft. Sure, some people might argue for Travis Etienne, and I might even make the argument that Etienne at 36 is better value than Harris at 18. But if you have a guy that you 100% want, go out and get him. And for the Dolphins last year, they had 5 different starting running backs. You averaged 3.9 yards per carry, which was ranked 29th in the NFL. If you want Harris, and I think they do, it's definitely a possibility at 18. All right, we got Tubal. What up, Tubal? If you're a Dolphins fan, go subscribe, youtube.com/Dolphins News. Do you think the Dolphins would be fine just concentrating on offense in the first 3 rounds? I will say yes, I do think they would be fine. However, it depends how the draft board falls, right? Like, you could easily go with Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, one of these top players, Kyle Pitts, at pick number 6. At pick number 18, then you could go with one of the top running backs, one of the top offensive linemen as well. And then pick 36, kind of the exact same thing, right? Like, if the Dolphins went with one of the top pass catchers, one of the top offensive linemen, and then the top running back left on the board, that's a really good start for Miami. And then you can continue to address some of your other defensive needs, but the offense is the bigger need right now for Miami than defense, and I actually think Miami has one of the more complete defenses in the league. From Wilson Hensley, if both Chase and Pitts are gone before 6, does Miami trade down into the teams with a quarterback-needy team like Chicago or crappy New England? Quarterback value is greater than pick 6. So I think it comes down to what do they actually think of a guy like Devonta Smith. If they're confident Devonta Smith is the guy that Tua wants and that they need, I actually think that they end up going with him because of the connection. Jalen Waddle's really solid as well. But also, if I was Miami and those 2 guys were off the board, I would be 100% open to the idea of trading down. The issue is, for Chicago to go all the way up, man, they'd have to give up a lot of picks, and even for New England as well. I'd be looking, though, at New England. I'd be looking at a team potentially like a Chargers, also a team like the Denver Broncos. All right, Robert, you're next up here. Appreciate the super chat, my dude. Mark my words. Lawrence, number 1, of course. Jets get Fields at 2. Niners get Jones. Bears trade up for Wilson. Lance falls on Broncos' lap at 9. Okay, I will mark your words. We will take a screenshot of this right now, and if you are right, we're definitely going to have to give you some kudos here. So, as Sam just did, all right, Robert, appreciate the question as always. Now, we partnered up with Newsbreak, and if anybody out there wants an awesome app on their phone, listen up right now. Go to chatsports.com/newsbreak. Now, I don't care what part of the United States you live in. I don't care what city you live in. I don't care what region. It doesn't matter what your zip code is. This app will be useful for you. Now, if you want more sports content, we got you covered. If you want more, politics, if you want to know more about pop culture, the best places to eat, the Newsbreak app is the app for you. So if you guys want to help us out and help yourself out, go to chatsports.com/newsbreak. I'm going to put this link in the comments. It's also going to be in the description. Now, why should somebody download it? Local news and weather. You gotta know what's going on in your local cities, right? Politics, food, pop culture, the extra sports content, and you can find our Chat Sports videos. So once you go ahead and download the app at chatsports.com/newsbreak, you go to the search tool, and if you look up your favorite team, then look for the show that we run. So if you're a Cowboys fan, Cowboys Report, Raiders fan, Raiders Report, Dolphins fan, Dolphins Today, 49ers fan, 49ers. Like, we got all these awesome channels here. You can get even more content. Plus, stay up to date what's going on in your city. Let's go to Mike Dibble. Hey, Mitchell, who is your late round 1 steal? So, my late round 1 steals, oh boy. I think in terms of players that I think you could keep in mind, oh boy, I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. I think Schwartz is a player, the wide receiver from Auburn. He could be a late-round guy you could potentially see go. The lineman from Mississippi State, I think, is a pretty interesting player. I'm trying to think. So, guys, I do a lot of my draft research, like, in the earlier picks. A lot of the late-round guys is probably a little bit more for Tom. So, what, you mean like late round 1? Oh, late round 1. I'm thinking like late, like 5th, 6th, 7th round guys. All right, so late round 1 steals. I think Zaven Collins is a great player to keep in mind. I think Azeez Ojulari could be a good player to keep in mind. We'll see. Eric Stokes is another player that I'm starting to really fall in love with because of the athletic ability. Jalen Phillips, if he goes down really far. I'm not going to sit here and go Melifonwu, but I will ask you guys this question. What's the correct spelling here for, I want to pronounce it right, Ifeatu Melifonwu? What's the correct way to spell this dude's name? Now, Obi, his older brother, he's already come out, was kind of an absolute flop in the NFL. But which is the correct way to spell Melifonwu's name here? So is it the first way, type 1? Is it the second way, type 2? Third, type 3? Type 4 if you think it's the fourth. If you want to know the correct answer, you can DM me on Instagram at MitchellRenz365 or just look it up on Google. Xavier with a Z, should the Dolphins draft Dylan Moses? I'll be honest with you, I'm actually not the biggest fan of Dylan Moses. Like, I get the idea that he played at Alabama, and it's a very household name. And before the injury, he was one of the best linebackers in college football. But then he suffered the torn ACL, and then he lost a step. 6'3", 240 pounds. I'm worried that Moses is going to get exposed, especially in the NFL, because he's not a very good coverage linebacker, and he's not really he doesn't have the speed like he used to, right? He's a good tackler. There's no doubt about that. But the Dolphins kind of already have somebody that's exactly like Dylan Moses. So if I'm Miami, I'm simply just going to say no. Let's go to Nate Joe 75. Do the Seahawks trade Russell Wilson to the Dolphins for 4 picks in the 2021 draft, 2 firsts and a second and a fourth? That's not even close to being enough for Russell Wilson. If you're going to give up 4 picks, all 4 have to be first-round picks, and that still might not even be enough. All right, we got Jace. Why do some CBS mock drafts have the Stanford quarterback going in the first round? It's because all it takes is for one guy to fall in love with one certain prospect, and then they're going to see him go up. I will say this. If you're looking at CBS mock drafts, you're doing it all wrong. CBS is one of the worst companies when it comes to mock draft stuff. And you're talking about Davis Mills here, 6'4", 212-pounder from Stanford. I mean, you're talking about somebody who hasn't even started 15 games. Like, does he look like a prototypical quarterback? Yes, he does. But he is not going to be, I think, a very reliable starting QB. His name, he's been going up and up in boards. But if you want good mock drafts, another reason to subscribe to Chat Sports. And also, if you want a good mock draft simulator, it's PFN. All right, if you guys got a question, I want you to subscribe to get on our live mailbag. So hit that big red button underneath this video here. And if you already subscribed, go to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Join us for the NFL Draft. We will be the #1 most watched draft coverage 3 straight years. And if you want more videos, free videos, seriously, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe.
From Brad Williams, one player the Dolphins should not draft at 18. That's a common name. I don't want to take Najee Harris. I think he's going to be a good football player. I don't want a running back, though. That is a very premium pick to spend on a back. I'd rather spend one in round 2, even if it's a lesser player. And I'll throw in Gregory Rousseau as well. I just don't think he's going to be that good in the NFL. At least he's not going to be good early. He needs a lot of development. The sack numbers deceive you as to how good he actually was last year in Miami. From Chris Romero, who is the most overrated player in the NFL draft? The guy that I have the most overrated player as relative to like everyone else is probably someone like a Gregory Rousseau. I'm not that high on Tyson Campbell, the Georgia corner. Underrated. I like Bobby Brown from A&M a lot. I think he's a good sleeper pick there. I would throw in someone like let's go defense again here. I actually liked Ronnie Perkins a lot. I think I'm going to be higher on him than most people. That's the edge rusher from Oklahoma. From Timothy Mullen, how have the character concerns of Micah Parsons impacted his draft stock? I know it might kill him less come out of this questionable pass coverage. We see him similarly then. The truth of the answer is I don't know. We will find out on draft night. If Micah Parsons goes like top 10, didn't affect him. If he starts to slide a little bit, then okay. Teams had some concerns. So, in general, the character concern stuff, at least for me, ends up being like a red flag of like, hey, keep this in mind, but I don't have the same information that NFL teams do as it relates to that. So because of it, it's a bit of an unknown. From Daniel Sharp, what is wrong with Deshaun Watson? Lots of things. For starters, things are not great right now for Deshaun Watson. The updates here as we sit here filming is there continue to be more and more accusations around Deshaun Watson and massage therapists, and there have been multiple lawsuits and some information has been filed with the police allegedly, and there's just all kinds of bad things for Deshaun Watson, and there's so many of them, it doesn't look good. We will let the cases in the system play itself out. But I think there's a very real chance from an NFL perspective, which is what you guys are here for. It's an NFL show, of course, that Watson is suspended on the commissioner's exempt list to open up the 2021 season. From Rashard Lee, who are your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC? All right, in no particular order, because I don't want to get anyone mad at me too much here. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Russell Wilson. I'm going to throw in probably Tom Brady in there, at least for now. Dak Prescott is in there. And then your 5th guy is probably not Kirk Cousins. It's not Fitz. It's not Matt Ryan. Kyler Murray. Matt Stafford, somewhere there. Spooner Sam goes, Kyler Murray, duh. Murray was not good on third downs last year. Like, it was bad. Yeah, it's the most important down. Like, I think Kyler's going to be good, but the breakout has not happened yet. At the end of next year, it might be Kyler in that top 5. I think I'd actually go Stafford or Matt Ryan would be my 5th option there. From Izzy World, why isn't Penei Sewell getting more love? He is the best non-quarterback prospect in the draft. I agree. I got Penei Sewell as my number 2 player. His arm length is 33 inches. That's fine. That's long enough for a tackle. Rashawn Slater's probably faster than him, but Sewell's also 330 pounds. He's huge. Penei Sewell dominated Pac-12 opponents at age 18 and 19. He does not turn 21 until after Kyle Pitts does. He's super young. Like, yes, he tends to lunge sometimes. I love him. I am not overthinking Penei Sewell. He is a fantastic prospect. I completely agree, Izzy World. From Izzy World, which draft prospect do you think could be taken in the first round that is not a first-round talent? So, this is a good topic here. And this is pretty on par with most of the NFL, too. There are not 32 first-round grades. Teams give out like maybe half of that as a pure first-round talent. That's the way that their grading systems work. That's the way mine work as well. So there are going to be a lot of players who go in round 1 that aren't your true first-round grades on teams' draft board, even though they'll boost it up later. The latest graded guy I think that could go in round 1, I could see someone like Jason Owe or a Tyson Campbell sneak into round 1, and I just did not like those guys as much as I hoped I was going to. From the King, name your top 5 NFL fan bases. We all know you're a Cowboys. Okay, so if we know that, then I will leave the Cowboys out. For my own safety, I'm going to put the Raiders on there because I don't want to get killed. I want to give credit to the Browns as well because they've been bad for a long time, and they still back their team very, very well. Let's see. I think Seahawks fans are pretty crazy, too, in a good way. Saints fandom has stuck by me since the Superdome Katrina game. And I need one more there for my favorite fan bases. I'm not going to do Broncos, Producer Sam, just to trigger you there. I'm not going to do Patriots fans because they annoy me as well. I'll go Chiefs. They've been fun lately in the end.
Out of these two, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, who do you think gets traded first? If you're like, you know what, man, I don't think either of these quarterbacks gets traded first, I want you to type N for neither. Now, one of the things that I love to be able to do here on Chat Sports shows is always talk about hypotheticals. And we've done plenty of shows around Rodgers. We've done plenty of shows around Wilson. But who do you think ends up getting traded first? I'm not saying in 2021. I could be talking about 2022, 2023. Which quarterback out of Rodgers or Russell Wilson ends up getting traded first? And if you want to ask me some trade questions around Rodgers, around Wilson, remember, all you got to do is use hashtag NFL, or you can super chat. If I was a betting man, I might actually go here and sit W for Wilson.